Next on our list is cylindrical surfaces. This is a very common feature used, and we will go to CATIA and create a new cylindrical geometrical set. So with sphere as the in-work object, when I go to create a new geometrical set, it's going to put it right underneath of that one, and we can go to properties. I'll call it what I'm doing, cylindrical. Hide spheres. Go to wireframe. Let's create a point. You know what? I'm just going to use that same point at 3 inches. Select OK. And then I'm going to create a line at this point in a direction. So what I'm going to do is switch this to a direction. And the pop-up window asks for points. Where do you want to start? So I'll use this point here. Oh, again, here we go, trying to get that point. And then the direction in the pop-up window defines which way the line's going to go. So I'll select the Y vector. It's going to go in the Y direction, and I'll make it simple. I'll make it 10 inches. And I'll hit the tab button, not enter, otherwise it'll just create it, so I don't like that. Oh, the direction, I didn't get Y. So I'm going to try and grab that Y vector again. So it's going to go 10 inches in the Y direction. So look at your pop-up window. Do you have a point and a direction and the offset? If you're having a hard time grabbing the Y axis, you can also use your contextual menu and right-click and grab Y from this pop-up or contextual menu. So I'm going in the Y direction, 10 inches long, select OK. When you go back to surface, the last one on the list is the cylinder. So I should have just named that cylinder. So it asks for a point. Guess what? I'm going to go on that point. And it's not asking to select a line to define the length, but a direction. So if I select this line, it does not control the length of it. And for some reason, it's creating it symmetrical in both directions. Length number 1 is where it ends. Length number 2 is where it starts. I know it seems backwards, but that's how it's done. Because usually we don't have a length number 2. The default should have been 0 for length number 2. So when I hit preview, it's starting at that point. Okay. If I hit 5 inches here and preview that, see it's going 5 inches from that point the wrong direction. I want to go in this direction of the line, so change the length to the default. What it should be, the default is 0. Now, I could change this radius here to 1 inch. Whoops, I hit enter, and that's why I don't like to hit enter, because I didn't get a chance to change anything else. I'll double click on this. The length is really 10 inches, right? However, if I were to double click this point, I'm gonna have to go grab that here. If I double click this line and I change that offset length to 12, the cylinder is not going to know to go with it. So typically the reason why I've defined that axis is because I want that cylinder to go that same length. So to link that, you double click the solid, and instead of keying in a length, you right click to get the contextual menu and use the measure item feature. Under measure item, I can select this line and it measures the length of that line. I'll just put it over here for right now and say OK. And say OK. And notice that the cylinder automatically changes to be the same length of the line. If I double click this 12 right here in the tree, I can change that to 15. The line will go to 15 and a little yellow symbol comes on the cylinder letting you know it needs to be updated. So what you do is you right click and then you hit the update, and it updates the cylinder to match. Now if I just go to the line feature and double click on that and I change it to 20, notice if you use that technique, the cylinder just grows with it. Notice when I double click the cylinder, the length is grayed out. It will not let me edit that. It's because it's linked to that measurement. It's driven by whatever this measurement's going to be. So again, if I were to change this back, change that line back to 10 inches long, the cylinder automatically shrinks with that, and the measurement automatically updates. And that is how you create a cylinder.